Well, hello again, boys and girls. Welcome back. So glad you could join me. Oh, have you ever watched magic happen? Where they take something ordinary and do something amazing with it? Like reach behind your ear and find a quarter? Or or maybe even make their thumb disappear? Magic is wonderful. It's creative. Well, what I always liked about it was how it takes the ordinary and make it extraordinary. So, a story I am going to share with you today is about Ordinary Mary and her extraordinary deed. Our story begins with Ordinary Mary. She was very ordinary. That you would never guess she could change the whole world. That's right, this ordinary kid, she did. She changed the world. One ordinary day, skipping on her way to the ordinary school, to her ordinary house, she passed an ordinary vacant lot filled with ordinary bushes growing ordinary berries, ordinary blue and juicy, luscious, lovely berries. What ordinary Mary picked the ordinary berries and brought them in a big brown bowl to Mrs. Bishop's porch. What? Left berries in a big brown bowl on Mrs. Bishop's porch? That sneaky kid. She did. Well, this made Mrs. Bishop very happy. So she baked a big batch of blueberry muffins and thought of 5 people who might have brought those beautiful berries. Then she secretly gave each of those people a plate of muffins. How great! 5 people got plates of blueberry muffins. Well, one of those 5 was her paper boy, Billy Parker. And when Billy saw his name on a note in the driveway on a plate, he quickly parked his bike and ate every crumb. Oh, yum, 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 yum! He ate every crumb. This made him so glad that the next 5 people got their papers on the porch and not in the bushes. Oh, because he often threw them over there in the bushes. In fact, they were handed their papers, not thrown to them. One of those 5 was Mr. Stevens, who was so amazed that he smiled for 10 hours on the airplane. Then said to 5 different people who had heavy bags, "Here, let me help you." He still smiled. They did too. He helped them with their bags. 5 different people. Well, one of those 5 people was Maria, whose cranky little boy James stopped crying when Mr. Stevens played peekaboo with him until their ride came. When he waved goodbye, Maria exclaimed, "How strange that a stranger would be so sweet." And the next day, when she was out shopping, once, twice, 5 times, she did something nice for 5 different people. 5 times without stopping. Well, one of those 5 people was Joseph, old and bent and gray, in front of her in the line at the produce stand. When he said, "I guess I counted wrong. I don't really need these oranges," little James reached out to him with an orange from their basket. And Maria put a coin in Joseph's hand and said, "Here, take this. The oranges are on us." As Joseph shuffled to the bus, his heart was full and his eyes were wet and his hands did helpful things for the next 5 people he met. One of those 5 was Sarah. Now, Sarah was a college student, and she was off to see the world and stopped at Joseph's shop. When her bag broke and all of her things fell all over the floor, she said, "Oh, what will I do?" Joseph said, "Here, this is for you." And he gave her a new bag woven with his own hands in red and purple and green. "Oh, thank you," she said. "It's the loveliest bag I've ever seen." When Sarah left, she felt sunny as noon, and she just had to shine on 5 people very soon. Well, you see, one of those 5 people just happened to be Sophia, whom she met on a boat looking like the world might end, looking like someone without a friend. She was sad. "What beautiful blue eyes you have," Sarah said, "and they're just the color of the flowers in your lovely dress." "Yes," said Sophia. "Oh, yes," said Sarah. The beautiful blue eyes shed a happy tear, and when the boat trip was through, Sophia called 5 people to make them happy too. Well, of those 5 people, one of those 5 was Tom, her son, the doctor, who was having a very hard day. "Hi," she said. "I love you, Tom." "Well, how great to hear from you. How great to hear your voice," he sighed. "I've always needed my mom." Dr. Tom was so cheerful up to that on his next break, he brought a big bunch of bright balloons to 5 young patients, and he handed them outright to all of them right then and there. Well, of one of those 5 patients, one of those was Peter. Now, Peter was a little boy who went home from the hospital that very day. Gratitude for the big bunch of bright balloons filled him and thrilled him and spilled him out of him and out onto the next what? Next 5 people who just happened to come by his way. Now, one of those 5 was Eric. Now, Eric, he was a teenage boy whose sacks and such were way too much for him. When one dropped on the sidewalk, Peter stopped his play and rushed right over saying, "Super Wills to the rescue!" Well, Eric, no longer stressed, was very impressed and made a mental note that very afternoon to help how many? That's right, 5 people, and to do it very soon. One of these 5 was Di, his 10-year-old sister who didn't have many friends and was painfully shy. When Eric said, "Hey sis, want to come to the park and learn how to ride my skateboard?" Well, she looked at him, wide-eyed and in disbelief. "Serious?" she said. "Sure," he said. And because of her brother, Di decided maybe she could be a friend to another 5 others. On one of those 5 was Louis. Louis was Louise, I'm sorry. Louise, a homeless woman who lived under the trees, said could hardly believe her ears when she heard Di say, "May my brother and I buy you a hot dog and a drink at that stand over there?" Could it be true? Someone actually cared enough to give her food and a smiley face ring that was practically new? Louise was so pleased that she decided that even though she had nothing, she would find 5 others and give them something. Well, one of those 5 people was Mr. Taylor, who lost his wallet in the park. Louise found it, full of 5s and 10s and 20s. Oh, what she could have done with all of that money. But she found his name and called his home, and over he came. He was so impressed with her honesty that he offered her a job in his store and vowed to do something generous for 5 people or more. One of those 5 was Kate, a woman on vacation who wanted to see a show she had heard was a sensation. "Oh no," she said, "it's sold out. But I'm going home tomorrow," and her face filled with sorrow. Mr. Taylor held out his ticket. "I live here," he said. "I can go anytime. Take mine." Kate loved the show and was so touched that she thought buying 5 presents for 5 people back home would really be fun. And one of those 5 presents was a little heart necklace for Mary, her niece, and you should have seen her eyes light up in surprise. "Mary? What? Ordinary Mary?" Yes, Ordinary Mary's extraordinary deed had come full circle, and on its way it had changed the lives of every person living. You see, when Mrs. Bishop made muffins from Mary's blueberries, not only the paperboy Billy Parker, but other 4 other people made 5 people smile. And those 5 did too. And after a while, in only 15 days, love was sent to every person everywhere. Just see how it went. 1 to 5 to 25, 125, 625, 3,125, 15,625, 78,125. 390,625, 1,953,125, 9,765,625, 48,828,125, 244,140,625, 1,220,703,125, 6,103,515,625. All for one good deed. Well, 6 billion is even more than all the people on the planet. So after everyone had shared and everybody knew that somebody cared, there was even love left over. The world was changed, and thousands and millions and billions agreed it was all because of one ordinary day. Ordinary Mary did a perfectly ordinary, stunning, earth shattering, totally extraordinary deed. The end? Or is it just the beginning? Mary created magic. Not the magic we normally think of, but magic about changing one person. And that one person went out and changed 5. And that just kept expanding. There was no special skill, but just a special heart to reach out and to do something special. Ordinary Mary, extraordinary deed. What extraordinary deed could you do for one person today to start a pay it forward type of campaign? Well, you have plenty of time, so let's look at those type of things today. You have a wonderful day, my friends. Go out, create some magic of your very own, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.